Hey, so today I'm going to do some work on the Land Cruiser. We're going to take care of this pesky, rattly section of the exhaust, if you know what I mean. So the first thing I'm going to do is remove the baling wire that's attempting to hold it on. That's kind of weird. I mean, it rattled around without the baling wire, or with it, so I don't know what good it was doing. We're going to take it off. I also got new O2 sensors, which go, I don't know if you can see, right here, and then one on the other side. So we're going to replace those after I fix all this. And but I'm kind of wondering if I should. They look pretty rusty, so I'm kind of thinking I'm gonna spray something on there to let them start soaking and loosening up. So they turn easier when I get that far. Boy, what a mess. Okay, so I'll get some stuff. Okay. Ooh. We'll let that work. So I'll start taking that off. Okay, I got this part of the cover off. The top half of it is still up in there. So there's the cat right there. So the hook, my plan, I got to keep that part because that's where the O2 sensor goes, right there, and then one on the other side too. And so I'm hoping that I can cut it somewhere in here, and then over here, or maybe keep that and put new pipe in here to replace this. That's the plan. This is all the gravel I found inside of that thing. That would explain some of the noise. Okay, I just got back from the store, and what we're going to try and do is we're going to cut these after the O2 sensor, and then this pipe should slide over that, and I'll use a sealant to seal that, and then one of these clamps to clamp that on there. On this end, I think I'll cut this right before this, I don't know what you call this bolt joint. I'm going to try to undo these bolts, and then I'll use that side and I'll weld it on this end of the pipe so that still bolts on as normal. See that? I think it'll work. I don't know if this will do any good. But we'll try it. Okay, I got the cat out. Some of these bolts here were seized. 2 of them came out fine. 2 of them were seized. So I actually had to grind them off. And then I used vice grips on the other one. Anyway, I got that off. On the other side here, I had to cut it, which is what I expected. I just used the Sawzall with a metal blade, and I cut those off. And so now that I'm here, before I put in the new stuff, I thought I'd take care of these O2 sensors. And I'm struggling here because one of the bolts for the O2 sensor was seized in there, and it broke off. I got a little bit of a stud coming out there, so I'm not really sure. One came out. Now I'm going to work on the other side. But boy, these look really bad. I'm a little concerned here. So we'll see how it goes. So the bolts on that other O2 sensor are really bad. I can't even find the flat spots on the nut in order to get a wrench on there. There's no way I'm going to turn them off of there. So I have another idea though, and basically going to rebuild that receiver for the O2 sensor. I'll show you what I'm going to do. So on my new section of pipe, I'm going to cut a piece of steel, 3/16 steel, in the shape of this gasket, which is for the O2 sensor. Then I'm going to drill a hole the size of that center hole there, and then I'll weld this to the pipe, or I'll weld the adapter to the pipe and I'll drill and tap these holes so that I'll basically make my own O2 sensor adapter, and then I can plug my new O2 sensors into new exhaust. On the other end here, I'm going to cut this off the cat and weld it onto there, and that should allow it to connect to the rest of the exhaust system. So, and then on this end, before the O2 sensor, I'll connect that to the header pipes and use this clamp to hold it on there, and I've got this sealant here to put around there. So that's the plan. So this is the piece I'm making that fits the gasket there, and that's what I'm going to weld to the pipe. So I've already drilled one of the holes, now I'm drilling the other two holes for the bolts. So what I did here is I drilled my first hole, and then I line up the gasket on that hole and mark one of the bolt holes. Then I drill that hole, and then I can line up the two of those and then mark this one and drill that one, and that way it's less likely that I get one of them off. So that's my process. Okay, so the holes all line up and they're tapped and threaded, and now we can weld it on the pipe. So here's the exhaust pipe. I tacked on this flange, or whatever you want to call it, there, and then I just kind of lined it up under the car and figured out roughly where that hole should go, and so I drilled that hole, and then I'll line up my gasket, and I'm going to mark these other two holes so that the bolts will travel through. That way I don't have to get super short bolts. I won't thread these, I'll actually drill them a little bigger, but that'll allow the bolts to travel through. Okay, I got the holes drilled. Flange goes there. Now I can weld it on. Okay, here we go. I got it welded on there. Not the prettiest of welds, but it's gonna work. I've got this flange welded on there too. And you can see our O2 sensor fits right in there. Both holes line up. I got new bolts to go in it. I think we're ready to go. I'll show you from the tube side here. I think we're all right. So now the trick is getting it in there. Okay, I've got them in place. I had to slide them on over here, so the lighting's bad news. Slid them onto these. This is 1 3/4 inch pipe and just slides just barely over this. It was kind of difficult. This one I had to hammer it to get it to slide, and I kind of slit the end of the pipe just a little bit to open it up to help get it started. This one actually just went right on. Go figure. Anyway, over here on this side, these are going to mate up. I'm going to put bolts in there in order to kind of move this away so that I could slide these on the header side. I had to unbolt the rest of the exhaust so I could kind of push it out of the way a little bit. It gave me just a little bit of room that way. So anyway, now I'm going to put the bolts in. Let's get here first. Hold on, we'll get a pipe wrench. Let's check. Okay, I got those bolted. Now I've got these clamps, and I think I'm gonna put the bolts. I don't really want them down because I don't want them to hang up on stuff, but putting them on the top makes them hard to get off if I ever got to take them off. So I think I'll put them sideways or maybe kind of diagonal up. Okay, that's in. Okay, I got the passenger side O2 sensor. Oh, I need the gasket. Yeah. Slip the gasket over it. Drop it in the hole. Thread my nice new bolts into nice new threads. Okay. Put the gasket over it. Put it in the hole. Okay. I think we did it. Okay, I got it put back together. I got the new O2 sensors in there and new pipes, and it's all clamped in there and bolted in and ready to go. And so I'm going to start it up. I'm very curious how it sounds, and I'm curious also if the check engine light will go off on its own or if I have to pull the battery cable. So I'm just going to start it without pulling the battery cable and see what happens. We'll go from there. Here we go. It sounds great. And look at this. No check engine light. Very cool. I like the sound of it too. It's dark outside. Sounds like a truck. All right. Thanks for watching. So while I was under here messing with the exhaust, I noticed that right here there's some cracks forming in the exhaust. This is the headers coming out of the engine down before the cat, and my guess is that this is right where the tire goes. Obviously it's slinging water and mud on this, and it's hot, and then that's going on there, and I think that's contributing to the rust. And then, you know, I don't know why there's that specific spot. It looks like maybe there was a weld there and it's going bad. Anyway, I'm gonna put some of this sealant, exhaust seal, on there, and I might put that around some of the fittings that I did down here. And then the other thought I had was to use some of this exhaust wrap. It's like what they put on like motorcycle pipes and headers and stuff like that. But I thought that might be a good thing to wrap on here just to protect it from moisture and continued rust. So we'll see. I might try that out. So I just ran a wire wheel on it to get the rust off of there. I'm hoping that helps the sealant to stick a little better, adhere better. Looks kind of shiny and nice. We should all look like that. But I'm not going to wire wheel the whole thing. It's just going to rust again. So the stuff coming out of the tube is really watery. I think it's not mixed inside, so I'm going to squirt some out here and then stir it up. And then I'll go apply it. Alright, that's better. So the directions say that if you add, with added heat, it sets quicker. So I'm just going to bring the heat gun over and we'll add some heat. And I guess I could turn the engine on, but they didn't specify that. Well, it does seem to kind of have hardened it just a little bit, and there's some air bubbles that came out of it. But I think I'll just let it sit and dry naturally from here. Okay, while I'm waiting for this to dry, I'm going to go ahead and try this wrap stuff on this one. And I think I'll start from the top right up in here and work down to my new connection here. I got some baling wire because you need to be able to kind of tie it down wherever you start and stop. Okay, this seems pretty dry. It's pretty hard. So I'm gonna go ahead and wrap the other pipe now. Looks pretty good. Alright, we got it on there. That modification to the exhaust, or cat, is one of my favorite projects on the Land Cruiser so far. When I found that the O2 sensor bolts were rusted and breaking, I could have given up and left the old sensors in there. I actually went to the auto parts store to look for a universal O2 sensor to pipe adapter, but they didn't have anything. So I just got creative and fabricated something myself, and that was a lot of fun. Making things myself is something I want to do more of throughout this build. Thanks for watching LDO Off-Road. I'm Zach Eastwood. If you enjoyed watching this video, please hit like, and I would really appreciate it if you subscribe to my channel. I hope to see you next time.